about it, though, is that EQ is a better predictor of performance than IQ. It's a better predictor of performance than IQ. Now, when you think about when we bring someone into the organization to perform a job, isn't it true that normally we go through an interview process and we try to, what are we trying to do when we go through this interview process? What are we trying to do? We're trying to find out their IQ, yes, right? Because we're interested in their skills and abilities, right? Is that true? So we want to make sure that they can do the job. Is that really why we have the interview process and all of the things that we go through to make sure that this person is capable of doing the job? The thing about it, though, is that we invest all of this time looking at how well they could do the job from a skill standpoint and from a knowledge standpoint. Isn't that right? And we invest a tremendous amount of money doing that. But when we go to terminate someone from the organization, isn't it usually about attitudes and habits? Yeah, I mean, isn't it usually about attitudes and habits? So really, this emotional piece, this emotional quotient, it really becomes like a multiplier of performance. A multiplier of performance. How many times have you had someone who had tremendous skills and knowledge, but because they had a poor attitude, they brought negative emotions to the job, but their productivity and performance was very low? And you had to turn. And how many times have you seen where you had a person who was maybe average skills and abilities, but because they brought really a high degree of emotional value in terms of their attitudes and habits to workplace, that they excelled in the work that they do? Yes. You see, because it becomes a multiplier performance. And so EQ is a better predictor of performance than IQ.
My name's Beverly Hill. I just attended a conference with Boykin in regards to engaging and creating and spending a lot of time on our employees' attitudes and habits. After yesterday, I went home to see if his systems really worked. And then when I got there, I applied some of his techniques to one of my managers and have gotten amazing results overnight. It was a little bit annoying for me to have to learn a new habit, but I was excited that it did show results. So his method to taking potential and developing performance has worked in just over 1 day of taking his course. So I recommend everybody else take this course.
The second one, is that right? You're a bit cheaper. That's the second one, right? Okay, very good. Okay, so let's look then at where we are in terms of how this concept became relevant, and just look at where, what's possible in terms of where we need to go and what we're trying to achieve. You start out here and you say, well, when we think about customer service, the goal might be to have satisfied customers, right? Satisfied customers. Consider that satisfied customers is at the basics, or at the beginning point of delivering good customer service. Having a satisfied customer is just a starting point. And then, though, the next step, though, is to have a loyal customer, and that means a customer that will come back over and over, and then we want to move those to a customer advocate. Now, here's why this evolution of this hierarchy is so important. Let's say, for example, you go to a restaurant, right? Now, what would be some reasons you would go to a restaurant? Well, let's start out with the basics, like you're hungry.
Hi, this is the second class I took with Andre. He's a very dynamic speaker. I really enjoyed it. A lot of useful information that I can take back to my facility and share with my staff, and I really appreciate running these.